Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new week, a new Monday, as we begin and continue our journey together through Scripture and the daily Word and what it means for us and how we apply it to our lives. So as always, I'm grateful you could join me for our time together, that you carve out time to be with me wherever you are, and that you offer greetings along the way. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's cold, but the sun's shining bright, and so we're looking forward to a great day as we continue our journey together. So today is daily word number 803. And so I chose for this morning from the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 7. And we hear these words from the writer of Isaiah. How beautiful upon the mountain who announced and I chose this scripture. I was thinking early this morning about a song that's an old song, and most of us who watch In Time are old enough probably. You may know the song 110 Soldier. And if you know the song 110 Soldier, it's about warring parties. And the folks below want to have what the folks above have, and there's conversation of war. And so finally at the end of the song, if you know it well, the war, those who want what the others have finally achieve it, and they get to the top of the mountain and they move the cover, and what was left, what was said, what was there, peace on earth, was all it said. But the conversation in the song is about war, is about wanting something that someone else has. Not even caring what it is, not even knowing that it was a simple thing in the song, just peace on earth. It was wanting something someone else has. And we'll go to any lengths to have it. It's true in our culture. It's always been true in our culture. There's always been, since the beginning of time, war, and somebody wanting what someone else has, and someone being jealous of something. Happens with countries and with nations and but it happens in neighborhoods. It happens with our neighbors. We're going to talk about that Sunday. We're going to talk about this greatest commandment thing, love God, love your neighbor, and I'll expound on that on Sunday morning. Happens with our neighbors when we fight with our neighbors, because we want what they have, or they want us to stay out of their yard, or whatever it is. It happens in families, of course. The warring of that, we want what somebody else has. And we have the propensity, it seems, in our lives, always, whether it's countries or cities or nations or neighbors or families, we have the propensity, we prefer to take sides. We prefer to take sides. But when we take sides and we've determined who's right and who's wrong, even when we for sure don't know, then the chance of peace kind of falls by the wayside. The war in the Middle East is a prime example of that. There are thousands of innocent people who are dead. Thousands of innocent people who are dead. And it's kind of like, the Hatfields and McCoys. I'm not sure we know what we're fighting over, but we know we're fighting. And we, too, in that situation, we prefer to take sides. But what happens when we take sides in all of that is then we lose the perspective of what it means to bring peace. The writer of Isaiah reminds us how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of the messenger who announces peace. who brings good news, who announces salvation, who says to Zion, your God reigns. If we were, instead of choosing, as the song, One Tin Soldier says, to fight for what's not ours and then find out what's not ours really is ours, it's peace. If we were to not take sides, but instead go to the other side, go to one side or the other, and share the suffering endured by each side. And go to the other side and tell the suffering of them, and go to the other side and share the suffering. It seems to me that this is our chance for peace. Now, through the years, Palestinians and Israelis have, in little small ways, have found ways to reconciliation. But often that reconciliation is torn apart because somebody wants what isn't theirs. And so they shoot guns or drop bombs or use drones in this case as the war has escalated. It seems to me that in our lives we live kind of the same way. We need to not take sides in all kinds of situations. We need to be the messengers of peace. We need to bring the good news to those around us. We need to be the ones who announce salvation. I said it yesterday in my sermon. I'm not sure how effectively I said it, but when Jesus asked for the denarius and he says, look, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, essentially take this, throw it away, give it back. All of this, give to God what's God's, and it all belongs to God. In our world, torn apart by war and anger and hatred, and in communities and families and neighborhoods, and the list goes on and on, all of that belongs to God. And I think for us, as hard as it is, and it is hard, look, let's not sugarcoat it and say it isn't. It's hard to be the feet of the messenger who announces peace. It's hard. It's impossible, maybe, sometimes. But all of this, the writer says, your God reigns. Until we have the courage to not want what's not ours, until we have the courage to share a cup of coffee, be in relationship with each other, true peace, it just won't be proclaimed either in the Holy Land or in our backyards. So we can't change that situation, but we can change our situation. We can be messengers of peace. And we should love each other, as Jesus talks about in the greatest commandment that we're going to hear about on this coming Sunday. That's where our week starts. That's where I want us to begin. That's where I want us to find our focus, our cause, our reason that we can live this week, to be the messenger who announces peace. Whatever that looks like. Might we find ways to do that in our lives? So thanks for joining me for our time together on this Monday morning. As always, know of God's love that surrounds you. Know of my love for you. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.